Located in southwestern South Dakota, the Badlands National Park stretches over 244,000 acres. The Stronghold Unit is co-managed by the Oglala Lakota Nation. Dr. Paige Baker is the park's superintendent.
Our location is in the southwest part of South Dakota. We're located about 70 miles east of Mount Rushmore. We have in the park 244,000 acres, half of which is located on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, and the other half, of course, is the North Unit. And as you can see around you, the Badlands was designated as a park because it's Badlands. Initially, it wasn't really of any use to the local pioneers when they went through, and it was designated as such back in the early part of the 50s, and became a park as it required more land. The Badlands is noted for its beauty. There's incredible, you can see quiet out here. People come just to see what the place was like when there's no people. The Badlands also is noted for the fossils. We have an incredible number of fossils in the Badlands. And the geology of the place also, of course, is an attraction. We have also bison, about 600 plus bison in the park. We introduced black-footed ferret and kit foxes.
Are there any sacred sites within the Badlands? And what is the historical relationship the Oglala have with this land?
There are sacred sites in the Badlands. And let me give you just a brief history of the involvement of the Oglalas. The Oglalas, of course, own this part of they actually own the park initially. I mean, the property in which the park stands at this point. But through the course of years and through the westward expansion of the white population, the establishment of reservations, Pine Ridge was set up as a reservation. And during the Second World War, the South Unit at the time was purchased by the military as a bombing range. As a result, there are still ordinances in the South Unit. And later on, when it wasn't being used anymore as a bombing range, the military attempted to give it to the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And the Bureau of Indian Affairs didn't want it, so the Park Service then took the property. The land is still owned by the tribe. We have a management easement. That's the National Park Service has a management easement on the South Unit. And what we're in the process of looking at right now is a general management plan that will define how that South Unit will be utilized into the future.
So what is your role as superintendent here?
The role of the superintendent in the Badlands National Park and in any other park around the United States serves many different capacities. The first, of course, is to work as a manager, and in that capacity work with all the divisions of the park. In this particular park we have facilities. That group works with roads and maintenance of buildings. We also have law enforcement in the park. We have interpretation, and that group deals with the public and schools. We also have natural resources, and that group deals with all the facilities, the natural resource facilities in the park. In this particular case, we have, like I mentioned earlier, bison and the black-footed ferret and prairie dogs and the kit fox, as well as deer and antelope. So they deal with those issues. We have recently had an issue with the plague. So the natural resources component deals with the Forest Service and other entities and trying to maintain, trying to establish some corrective action on the plague, which I think we've been successful. There's also a public role as well, in which the superintendent is required, or part of the role is to work with the public, with all the publics. It could be schools, the various congressional folks. It could be the publics at the local level or a national level. I've also recently just had a visitor from Argentina. So we deal with people from basically all over the world. And it's trying to tell the story of the park and facilitate any kind of communication that we can with those entities.
So As a superintendent who happens to be Native American, how does that affect how you manage the park?
My heritage, my background has, I believe, contributed to the perspective that we have here, as would anyone's background, I would add, to managing any place, be it a park or a corporation or whatever else. In this particular instance, I believe that being raised on a reservation, also working with not only my own tribe, but also other tribes in the past, and I would add, working with county governments in other parts of the country, as well as foundations and non-Indian public as well, has contributed to a fabric that has really helped in building a philosophy that that's encompassing, that we try to continue the Organic Act #1. That is, how do we maintain this park into the future with many different perspectives, and assuring that the voices of people that haven't been heard are heard, and attempting to put programs together that will do that into the future. As the world grows smaller, the question is, how do we do this in a manner that still maintains the integrity of the place? How do we maintain the balance of conservation with development that's going on around us? Those are questions, I guess, that we're all wrestling with. And truly my background has, I think, enhanced how I look at those issues and how we bring other voices to the table to address those issues as we go forward.